Welcome, one and all, to Boxing Analogies on ESPN. I'm Shruti.
And I'm Hannah, and we'll be commentating on today's match.
We have a very exciting matchup today against Ebola, also known as Liboa, versus the Public.
They haven't been head-to-head in ages, so it's sure to be a nail-biter.
All right, let's get things started. In this corner, we have Liboa. He was first discovered in 1976. This negative-stranded RNA virus from the family of Filoviridae caused two simultaneous outbreaks in Nzara, South Sudan, and Yambuku of the Democratic Republic of Congo. It occurred in a village near the Ebola River, which is how this famous boxer got his name. His most current outbreak was in West Africa in March of 2014, and the virus has been known to cause fever, fatigue, muscle pain, headache, sore throat, and followed by vomiting, diarrhea, rash, symptoms of impaired kidney and liver function in all of his opponents. In some cases, however, both internal and external bleeding, like blood oozing from gums, blood in stools, and all of those awful things can occur. He's even more dangerous, though, for he has an incubation period of 2 to 21 days. Humans, however, are not infectious until they develop the symptoms.
All right, let's get to know our other fighter. In the other corner, we have the Public. Public is coming in at a hefty 7.4 billion pounds of people. Public and Zoonosis, who is Public's coach, have had some tension ever since Public discovered that Zoonosis used to be the coach for Liboa. Ooh.
Oh, man.
Let's see how this plays out in the ring.
Ding, ding, ding.
All right, this is going to be a fine matchup, ladies and germs.
Oh, my gosh, Public's been hit. What does this mean?
This is turning into a spillover event stemming from Liboa's previous coaching from Zoonosis.
Oh, goodness.
Zoonosis is defined as a disease communicable from animals to humans under natural conditions. It's thought that fruit bats are Ebola's natural host. However, it's infected animals such as chimpanzees, gorillas, fruit bats, monkeys, forest antelope, and porcupines. Spillover is defined as when a reservoir population comes into contact with the novel host population. So in this case, spillover occurs when humans found these infected animals dead in the forest or hunted them and came into contact with their blood, secretions, organs, or other bodily fluids.
Oh my goodness, Public now has a cut. Is that blood? If so, Liboa definitely has a chance to infect. Oh man, Public isn't looking too good either. It looks like he has a fever and is getting pretty tired. Ooh, it looks like he's blaming his coach Zoonosis for his loss.
This just in. A quote from the Public. "Look what you've done, Zoonosis. This is all your fault. You haven't trained me well enough to fight Liboa, and now you've let me get infected."
Oh my gosh, who's going to coach the Public now? He's fired him.
He's bleeding out of his skin. Public is starting to get really desperate, and the audience is beginning to worry. Looks like the famous Panic will be Public's new coach.
Oh my gosh, Panic has been an international sensation in the boxing world.
Uh-oh. Panic is using some of the tactics he had used in sub-Saharan Africa. Sub-Saharan Africa was already weak due to a lack of strong healthcare system, poverty, and stable infrastructure. However, Panic facilitated the spread of Ebola. The fear made it difficult to get healthcare workers who would be willing to treat affected people. It also caused infected people to run away and hide in fear, as well as deny their infection for fear that they would be put into isolation and quarantine. Panic also caused more poverty by inadvertently forcing the government to implement stricter travel and border laws, making it hard for the small villages to get any income from tourists. All of these actions and more caused by Panic has led to further spread of the disease.
Not only that, but Panic's tactics also had an effect on the audience, aka the U.S. in this case. The media has always taken advantage of Panic's outlandishness, and it has started to make Ebola seem as if it's traveling crazy fast and will affect everyone outside of West Africa. When the media tells everyone that Ebola symptoms are fever, headache, and muscle aches, that lead to bleeding out of every orifice of your body, people start thinking that their flu symptoms are actually Ebola. There are actually currently only 4 reported cases of Ebola in the U.S., but if Panic continues to have an influence, Ebola could start popping up in the U.S. due to overcrowding hospitals and irrational fleeing.
That's crazy.
Terrible.
Looks like Public is still not faring well in the match. He's continuing to lose and is getting sicker and sicker as his coach continues to spread panic throughout the arena. What will happen next?
Oh my gosh, it's the head honcho himself, local/global economics and foreign aid. He thinks he'll be able to channel Panic's tactics and the fear he caused and use them as a strategy to win this match.
Wow. Panic isn't going to like this. Local/global economics and foreign aid is using PANIC's methods as a way to raise awareness and funds to help treat and prevent Liboa's wrath on the rest of the world. Local and global economics and foreign aid laid out his game plan for defeating Liboa. He wants to communicate on multiple levels, not just on media platforms. It's necessary that local communities mobilize to form a district Ebola response, which will allow non-governmental organizations to convey the news to the public. The Ministry of Health and the National Ebola Response will also need to communicate so that the message can be received by national governments and leaders of other countries. Throughout this process, it's important to communicate with researchers so that international governments and organizations such as the World Health Organization or the Center for Disease Control can mount an effective response.
Yeah, definitely. Improving communication will minimize the risk of spreading false information and rumors, which can lead to more panic, which, as for all the reasons we listed earlier, could lead to more disease. Initially, however, local and global economics and foreign aid was slow to step up to help public in this match, underestimating the power of Liboa and PANIC's chaos. However, he has now ramped up his efforts. In the 2014 outbreak, he gave $1.7 billion to prevent the Ebola outbreak. That $1.7 billion was distributed as following: $20 million was available to train doctors and nurses. $87 million, which is the most out of the chunk, was dedicated to infectious disease control, and $24 million was given to repair health facilities. Local and global economics and foreign aid should know that health systems are the first line of defense in outbreaks such as Ebola, and when they are not properly funded, they can potentially collapse like they did in 2014 and put the entire world at risk. So, in my opinion, more money should have been allocated to building up healthcare facilities rather than disease control itself.
Yes, you're quite right, Hannah. You're quite right.
Yes, thank you.
By the end of 2015, however, the United States had pledged more than $2 billion and deployed military personnel to provide medical and logistical support.
Individual donations, including $50 million from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and $25 million from Facebook CEO and founder Mark Zuckerberg and his wife Priscilla Chan, have actually trumped many countries' efforts as well.
It's important to note, however, the largest economic effects of the crisis are not as a result of the direct costs, which include mortality, morbidity, caregiving, and the associated losses to working days, but rather those resulting from aversion behavior driven by fear of contagion.
Exactly. So if PANIC is going to continue to coach public, he really will need to learn from local and global economics/foreign aid and channel his efforts toward raising funds and awareness, improving the responses of foreign healthcare systems, and lastly, work towards building better and improving upon the healthcare systems of the highly affected countries.
Yes, that's what needs to happen.
Exactly.
Oh, that sounds like the bell for the third round. Looks like this match has come to a tie. Wow, this was so intense. From the looks of things, there will be more matches like this to come.
Absolutely. Thank you for tuning in to Boxing Analogies on ESPN. We wish you well, and remember to always wash your hands.
Thank you and good night.